You are now plugged into the Social Plug Podcast.
What's up, everybody? I am Johnny Martinez, and you are plugged in. Get with me, Michael. Plugged in to the Social Plug Podcast, where we are always connecting you to level up and where we discuss ordinary people doing extraordinary things. We are always powered by Social Plug Media, right behind me. We are at the beautiful Greenleaf Studio today at Greenleaf Health and Wellness in New Braunfels, Texas.
Yes, sir.
And I got several people to introduce. Let me introduce that guy behind the camera first. JRock, the engineer. What's going on, my man?
What's up, bro? You'll come eating some CBD stuff over here.
Uh-oh. So you are, hey, when in Rome. So you are at the CBD shop, so he's eating some CBD.
Yep.
All right, what does that do to you, JRock?
Well,
libido?
Lots of things.
Libido.
You know, I get my What'd you say?
Libido. You know what that means?
No, what is that? What does that mean?
It makes you a lover.
Oh, is that what happens?
Yeah, libido.
Well, ladies, you better look out.
Strong like
You give
bull.
you the best 2 minutes of your life, ladies.
It's like you're eating an oyster right now.
Dang,
Dang.
That's usually about 2 pumps and a wiggle.
Yeah, so I'm eating some sandwich cookies. They got a little bit of cannabis in it, you know, 25 milligrams, and it's going to make me chill, make me have a good night, you know. Now, a little stress-free, maybe get some good sleep. So that's what's great about coming here to Greenleaf Health and Wellness, man. Get you some good snacks or gummies or maybe even a drink.
And it's all legal.
And it's all legal. That's
Hell
right, baby.
yeah.
All legal, baby.
So I got this man here right beside me, the man with the beautiful beard, looking like Zeus. Looks like he just came out of the damn ocean with like Poseidon or something.
Right, yeah.
That's what I meant.
For a second, I thought you were talking about Jerry. I was like, what are you talking about? He ain't got no beard. He's clean as hell.
That's 3 days right there.
That's 3 days.
Yeah, what's
Coming
up
in
with
strong.
that?
Coming in strong.
What's up with us? Some of us Mexicans can't even grow a mustache, bro. It's horrible. I mean, I guess that's just me, man.
I just grow whiskers.
Dude, Michael's got more hair on his beard than you got on your damn body there, JRock.
Hey,
Yeah,
it took
does.
years, though, for it to connect. Like, for my mustache to connect to here, there was like a gap right here for years, bro. It would not connect. So,
At what point in your life did it start connecting?
about 35. Like,
Man.
30, yeah.
Hey, wait, now do you do the whole like beard oil and everything?
Oh, yeah.
Treat it, take care of it.
treat
do
it,
all?
take care of it, straighten it, you know, go get it cut up. Yeah. Every 2 weeks, I go to the refinery in Green. Yep. They lace me up, man. You know, get my undercut done, make sure
Yeah.
everything's straightened up. You know, got to take care of yourself, man.
So are you a client of the Beard Club for Men?
Yeah, you know, I think so. Might as well be. I might not be the client. I might be the president.
Hey, wait. Now, hey, now let me ask you this: is it like when you a motorcycle rider sees another guy with a motorcycle? Is it kind of like that with beards? Like you kind of just.
I mean, I'm not that way. Like, I'm not going to go and be like, dude, your beard is gangster, bro. I'm not that person, but I get a lot of guys that'll come say that to me, like, oh, man, I love your beard. What oil do you use? And I'm like, man,
Like, are you hitting on me, man?
Then they buy you a drink. Then they buy you a drink and shit.
You know, if you go buy me a double gray goose and topo, bro. You know, I'll let you know what kind of beard oil I use.
Hey, you
know?
ever have a guy like, can I feel your beard?
No, man, ain't nobody down. Ain't no dude touching my beard, bro.
Then
That's
he's gonna ask to feel something else. You better watch out, boy.
you know, that's like foot massages and touching the beard, bro. That's not cool for a guy to do it, you know.
So Michael Mann, everybody, this guy is legit with a great beard. And then we got Jerry Sauceda, the man
I'm
of
about to say, does the carpets match the curtains up there?
No, man,
drapes.
now I'm on the shit up here, you know.
Well, I asked you that earlier. You had gray in other places, and
Yeah.
you said, no, it's just on my beard.
Just my chest a little bit, you know. I'm starting to get old, but yeah, just my beard, man. If I didn't use a little bit of Just for Men, I would look like Kenny Rogers. Like, it is white, man. I had gray hair in high school. Yeah, so.
But you got hair.
Yeah, I got hair, and my mom was completely gray at 21. So it runs in the family, you know.
Wow.
So we got the man with the beautiful hair.
Got the
right
beautiful
here.
hair.
Jerry Sauceda, man of many talents, including DJing, insurance. He's got all kinds of stuff going on. Look at that.
DJ, public speaking. I mean,
You're all over the place, man.
a little comedy. We heard a little bit pre-game
Stand-up
before the
comedian.
show.
Add that to the resume.
Yeah, stand-up comedian, man. Hey, we need to go see Mothership together.
So actually, I was updating my resume yesterday to maybe add something to the resume, and I was like, damn. I was like, if you actually dug into the archives, dude, all the different things that I've done, and I think that's one of the things I love though, because there's actually a lot of things that people don't know about me. and I don't like being put into a box.
Yeah.
Right. I love that people know me for different parts of me, and it's like they almost know certain types of Jerry. Like
Right.
some of my friends, some of the people know me at the very business, like in a suit. Others know me more of that DJ kind of loose, and then people know like my daughter and her friends know the dad figure side of me, right? So anyway,
Are you a cool
I'm just
dad?
Jerry, bro.
You cool dad? Or you just...
Well, I'll put
You
it this way.
hardcore.
So we just got back from vacation, actually. So we went to Destin, Florida. I had my daughter was there, and I said, "Hey, invite some of your friends." We do a daddy-daughter vacation trip every summer, right around Father's Day, and we love going to the beaches. So we've been to like Laguna Beach, San Diego, Miami. We went down to Destin, and the whole time we're there, she's like, "Man, Dad, all of my friends are like, hey, I wish I had a cool dad like your dad," you know. And that made me feel good. And here's one of the things I love about that is not so much sometimes it's all about like you got to like spend a ton of money, do crazy stuff. One of the things that I think that they love about that is that your dad's a cool dad is like we're spending quality time together.
Yeah.
Like that's what they feel is cool. Is like
Right.
you're spending time together, connecting.
Doing stuff that they want to do.
Doing stuff. Yes.
Yep.
Exactly. And that's why I tell other dads or just I tell myself, like, hey, it's not always about needing like, hey, what can I buy her? Things like that. I'm just like, how can I spend some unique quality time together with her, connecting with a 17-year-old?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So-
Dude, so you engage with the friends and everything? You talk to the friends and ask them about the latest trends on social media, TikTok, and they're doing their dances and stuff on TikTok? Is that... Because that's kind of what I go through.
Yeah. So, I think it makes it easy for me to connect with them because we talk music. Music is a big connector, right? And I love finding out from them, like, hey, what's trending, what's cool, what's not cool, what's coming back, because, right, what's old is new.
Yep, what's
they're
coming around,
listening
what's
to
coming back around,
to some of the
keep me in the
old
loop.
stuff. Yeah.
So tell us about it. What's trending, what's new, what's
Yeah,
old,
yeah.
what's out, what's in?
I'll tell you this, what is hot right now, bro, big time, and I saw this even like on the BET Awards, but you were seeing more and more female rappers that are just like dominating the music scene right now, for sure. So you had people like a Cardi B, a Nicki Minaj, they were like mainstays, but then you had like people like Megan Thee Stallion coming through. Now you got Glorilla,
Dia Lupa.
Flamilla,
Was it Dia Lupa?
Dia Lupa, yeah. But I mean, you're talking about these hardcore rappers,
Yeah.
and they are nasty, right? Nasty, but it's fun. I feel like they're just like representing. They're saying what women just want to openly say and enjoy themselves. But that is one thing I'm saying. I'm just like, bro, like the female rap game right now.
It's
crazy.
changing.
They
It's
are-
changing.
they
big
are
time.
The other day I was with Jerry. He was DJing, and he's like, check this song out. I don't know what song it was, but he's like, check this out. Look at all these girls are going to start singing it. And, man, they're going off, and they're singing, they're vibing. But then I'm listening to what they're saying. I'm like, whoa, wait a second here.
Hey, that's a perfect example because the song was Pound Town.
There you go. That's
That's
what
the
it was.
name of the song, Pound Town.
Yeah, my
Number
Gucci
2.
whole pink, my Diddy whole brown. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
song goes off. I like
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah.
That's
I like dancing to that
hilarious, man. Oh, so hold on. I want to go back
J-Rock,
to
you ever go to Pound Town?
What? I'm about to.
Hey, hopefully not right now.
Hopefully not right now. That's
Right.
I want to go back to Michael's beard real quick. Hey, Michael. So, what's the weirdest thing you ever got caught up in that bitch?
Probably my hot straight cut. You know what I brush it out with?
Yeah.
I got that wrapped up in it one time, and I had to get Yvonne to come help me out. Man. Yeah, it like curled up in it, and then it was hot, so I had to unplug it. So yeah, that was a mess that morning. It
You
was
get any
iron.
June bugs in that thing thinking it's a nest?
No, hell no, man. I don't June bugs, man. Those things got fangs, bro.
That's what the oil's
Hey,
for.
grasshoppers.
That's what the oil's for.
What's it like when you're eating? I'm sure you just
You get used to it, you keep it
trimmed.
trimmed around your mouth, but every now and then, like right now, it's kind of sprayed out.
You put a hairnet on that thing?
No, you just got to comb it. You just got to hold it down. Take your bite like that. You just got to hold it down. You don't want to get it back in there. Too much into your food.
Hey, you know how the ladies be putting it up like,
Oh, yeah.
it's time to go to work.
To the side.
Yeah, that's what I do to
Do you ever
this.
braid it, man?
All right, no, it ain't long enough. I trimmed it up, so it's a little short now.
Yeah, I've seen some of those old school bikers. They got all the rubber bands.
Yeah, all the little
Remember-
dookie braids.
Remember
and
Captain Lou
everything?
Albano? Remember that?
The wrestler?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, now
yeah.
how long has it taken to get to that length right there?
This link didn't. It doesn't take long, but I had it. I think the other day they cut like about this much off of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was getting pretty long.
So you lost
and
about 2 pounds then.
yeah, pretty much, man. I'm getting that boat body ready, baby.
There
So
you go.
Hey, speaking of boat
That's
body,
funny.
man, you are looking good, man.
Yeah.
All right, I'm not trying to hit on you, Michael.
why not?
I'm just saying you're looking good.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate
2023.
I saw his hand kind of just sneak underneath a little bit.
that. Yeah, you know,
Hey,
right there, underneath there.
If my hand disappears, hey, just look away. All
Just
right?
look away.
Pan the camera.
We'll switch
Pan the
camera.
camera.
Real quick.
Pan
We'll
the
switch it.
cameras.
We'll
We'll
go to
switch the
Jerry. We'll
cameras.
go to Jerry and me,
But
okay?
what have you done, man, to shed some of those lbs?
Man, just me and Yvonne just changed our eating habits, our lifestyle, so no fast foods, no fried foods. I mean, you have your little days every now and then that you'll cheat, but
That's boring.
it is. It's not really, man. You'll find out just eating healthy is not boring. You just have to quit being lazy. That's what it is, bro. You just have to quit being
Johnny's
lazy.
got to quit being
Yeah.
fucking
It
lazy,
is, man. I
Johnny.
mean,
It
because
is.
I'm a victim of it all the time. I'm like, man, I got to go home and prep some pineapple, make some of this, a sweet potato, and some chicken. And, I mean, that takes a little bit of work. But when you're done and you eat it, you feel good. So that's just the main thing. I think Yvonne's down almost 35 pounds, and I'm down 23 now.
Hell yeah, man. Is
That's
it cheaper
awesome,
to
man.
eat healthy or is it more expensive?
No. It's expensive.
You
got to
got to
eat
be
healthy.
Mexican and have to eat leftovers, bro. You got to
Right,
make
see,
it.
and I can't do leftovers, man. I hate
It does-
leftovers,
yeah.
man. And
Yeah.
even microwaving food, like meal prepping, I can't do
Can't
that.
do that?
I can't do it, man. Just putting the food in a microwave, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what it
That's
is
crazy.
about microwave food that drives me crazy, man.
Hey, Mike, but you're right, man, because so I'm on the opposite end of that. And when you talk about hey, it just kind of takes that time commitment to
Yeah.
go maybe grocery store, stuff like that. I'm not that guy. I'm not doing that. But you know what? You'll probably see on my countertop everything from Whataburger, Chicken Express, Chick-fil-A, Raising Cane's. That's kind of like the staple of my diet. Because not only,
Oh, yeah.
then I'm like, man, to cook essentially for one, then
yeah.
you got to clean up all that stuff. Like you said, and
You got to learn how to cook it
cheaper
in one
now.
skillet, man.
Bro.
One cast iron skillet, your vegetables, your chicken.
I'll cook
You got to
breakfast.
time it. You got to time it all to where it's right. Just boom, boom, boom. And it's not easy. I
Hey,
get it,
but you're looking good, bro.
I appreciate it, man.
yeah,
I
yeah,
appreciate
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Dude, you got
Don't do that.
the trim body, the trimmed up beard. Look at you, man. Your hair's flowing.
You got the new hat. I like the new hat, by the way, bro. I saw
Yeah.
that yesterday at the Staunch. I had to
Yeah.
go get my Lazy J hat.
I
So.
picked this one up a couple weeks ago when they just dropped it. I played a round of golf this morning, so I had to support it out there.
What does it say again? It's
Yeah, if you
what's it
can't
say?
see over there, it says bust a putt
bust the putt.
on
a
that
putt
grass.
On that grass.
On that
grass.
Bust a putt
Deep.
on that
Balls
grass.
deep, right?
Balls deep, yeah.
I love
Shout
that.
out to Staunch for that one, man.
Yes, shout out to them. So I think I picked up like 2 or 3 of their golf hats. So
Yeah, I got the players. What is it? Players.
Oh,
The
yeah, the
Players
Players-
Club.
and I got
Our
the
your
sand
holes,
one.
our balls.
Yeah.
That's the one I got.
Like that one.
Wait,
Hey,
say
so
that again. Your holes are balls.
Yeah, your
it was-
holes,
it was
Players Club.
Players
Your
Club.
holes,
Your
our
holes,
balls.
our balls.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's good. I
So
love it,
speaking
man.
of actually, this hat I'm wearing right now is actually
Yeah, that's
from their
Bad Birdie,
from their
yeah.
brother's store. Actually, another group called Bad Birdie, a line that they're carrying over there.
Yes.
So man,
Where's that at? That's a men's spot.
Yeah, it's a
black-
men's spot
that's a
right down
men's-
the street.
Yeah,
It's Nelly.
I bought a
it's
couple
Nelly,
shirts
right?
from there.
I don't know, man.
I think it's called Nelly, I believe is the name of it.
Is it-
it's just
brand.
a clean look, man. And
Yeah.
so I like
I'm
the stuff that
Very
they're carrying.
boutique,
so-
man,
yeah,
and
I'm
that's
loving
what
it.
we need more in this town.
Yeah.
I love clothes. I love to go shop. I hate wearing the same stuff, because you just get stuck sometimes wearing the same thing over and over. If they had men's clothing here in town, that would be dope, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Some
they do
place
well.
to go get something fly, a fly T-shirt that's not at, Target or Belk or J.C. Penney's. I want something that's a small batch, that not everybody else is going to wear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And we
that-
were just talking about that too. There's a lot of people are getting the vintage or going back into what they're wanting to wear, and I
Yeah.
think a lot of that is pretty cool too. Me and Jerry talk about it as well, but I think what they got going on there at Staunch. Oh, okay, so what's the other store called? I'm so sorry.
Nelly.
Natty.
Natty, that's what
It's
it is.
Natty.
Natty,
Yeah. So
yeah.
I've gone
I'm
in there,
over
got a
at
couple
Nelly.
shirts. Nelly. Yeah, no, I went in there, got a couple shirts. I even got a Bone Thugs and Harmony shirt over there.
Hell yeah.
Man. Like,
Yep.
they got some stuff like that. So I'm
Yeah, they had
liking-
a Snoop Dogg shirt I wanted, but they didn't have it in my size.
Yeah.
Their size would be running little, so if y'all listening, you look up more big boy sizes
Yeah,
for
Michael's
us.
a big
and
boy,
tall.
man.
I'm a little bit bigger.
And he can't even find his shoes anywhere. Find a pair of shoes. That's how
Oh,
big his
yeah.
damn
Yeah.
foot is.
Hey, actually, Bone Thugs and Harmony, my favorite rap group of all time.
Oh, hell yeah,
So
bro.
it's my first cassette tape I think I ever had was Eternal 1999.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, that's
Mine
a
was
shit, bro.
NWA
Yeah,
and Beastie Boys,
Yeah.
Licensed to Ill. Those were my first 2 cassettes of rap.
Our other guest.
Sorry,
other
special
guest.
guest.
River's in the
Special
house.
guest in the house.
That's my pub. River, get down, River. Come on.
Say, so you mentioned earlier you don't be wearing the same thing. Do you remember growing up? We grew up poor, okay?
Oh, yeah.
When there was a sale at Solo Serve or whatever,
Solo Serve.
we all wore
He
the
brought
same
it
damn
up.
thing to school.
Same,
Do you
bro.
remember that?
I remember seeing your friends inside a Solo Serve, and everybody would act like they didn't know each other all of a sudden.
Or when you had the irregular.
Yeah. Oh,
So
man.
one pant leg was longer than the other. You remember that?
Or the ones you couldn't really, I'd be in there inspecting them, bro. Like, all right, these look dope. I just got to hide that. Because I was in football, man. And, man, when you got undressed, you had to roll them up real quick, stick them in your locker, because you didn't want everybody to see that big old bump, irregular stamp on them, man. I hated that. He brought back PTSD on me right now, man. Solo Serve.
Shit.
I don't even think they have that kind of stuff anymore. You have irregulars.
I don't think so, man.
It's all the clothing rejects.
Right.
I think people want it irregular.
Hey, could you
Irregular is
imagine?
regular.
Yeah. I don't think they can handle my jeans. Say they're irregular. I don't know if society could handle that this day and age.
Hey Johnny, dude, I'm so Mexican, bro. This was our shopping. We'd actually have like cousins that would bring trash bags of stolen clothes to our house, and we would shop, bro.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I remember rocking.
And you try to make a deal, right? $5. Dude, I give you $5 for
Hey,
this.
look, I'm gonna take
Dude.
this whole pile over here. We might take these. Yeah.
I was middle school, bro, probably 100 pounds, soaking wet, wearing like a large, extra large, but poloed
It was
out,
boo-foo.
nauticaed out, starched down. Shoot,
You're looking
bro.
fly.
Yeah. Oh, I like the starch down. See, I still crease my
Tommy
stuff.
Hilfiger was a shit, right?
Bro.
In that,
I
when I was
won't
in
forget
school.
my first day of high school. I was like, man, because you're like first day of school, not
look
only school
fly.
but high school. I was like, man, what am I gonna wear? And I had the Tommy Hilfiger overalls, bro. That said Tommy right here. Hey, with the one strap on.
The one strap on. Oh, geez.
Couldn't touch me, bro. Hey,
Looking like Kid and Play or something.
hey, my junior and
yeah.
senior
Hey,
year of high
you couldn't
school.
play alone, man. That's my shit.
Hell
My
yeah.
junior and senior year of high school, I was actually voted most fashionable guy.
Oh,
There you
really?
go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
with stolen clothes. That's pretty cool. Hell yeah.
It's stolen clothes.
The truth comes out.
The truth. Hey, we only speak the truth here on the Social Plug Podcast. Ordinary people doing extraordinary things. That is
Dude,
extraordinary,
that's
my man.
extraordinary. Johnny sitting over there like,
Yeah,
he won best in class with stolen clothes.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Hey, no, get this. Hey, but this is how creative I was with it. So you remember, Kobe Bryant back in the day had what they were called the space shoes, right?
Oh, I bought some
so
of
they
those.
were
I had two
smooth.
pair.
You couldn't see the laces, nothing.
Yeah,
so I
they're
bought
badass.
2 pair. The
Hell yeah, me
white
too.
ones and the gray
ones.
You
Hell
bought them
yeah.
from your cousin?
No, probably, bro. Hey, or the flea market. The flea market. Hey,
The regulars.
but me
I
being
did the
Jerry,
same thing, bro.
me being Jerry, bro, I would wear one white shoe, one
one
gray
gray
shoe.
Yeah.
Rock
Hey, those
it, bro.
Kobe's were the shit, bro. Hey, have you seen how
Rest
much
in
those
peace,
are?
Kobe. Love that motherfucker.
Have you seen how much those are right now? Those
Oh.
Kobe shoes are like almost from $600 depending on the how they look, whatever. Condition all
Yeah,
the way from
yeah.
$600 all the way to almost like $2,500.
Oh, no doubt.
All right, so I need to get with your cousin to get me some Kobe's.
Hey, can we get his number? You know what I mean?
Right, hell yeah.
Hey, can we flash it on the screen? That's just, discount.
Yeah.
Hey, the number will be on the bottom of your screen.
Johnny, we didn't even announce. So, do we have a sponsor for this show?
We're the sponsor
We're the
today.
sponsor. Okay. I was just like, man, we were just rolling, man. I love it.
There we
No,
go. I
man.
like it.
That's how we
Yeah.
go. So there's no topic off limits. We just have a damn good time.
Hell yeah.
So we're all hosts on this show, man. We're all interchangeable, and we're able to chop it up, cut it up, do whatever we can. We like to have a good time, and we like to give advice, like to give golden nuggets, just for people to listen to us and
pick
get
it
something
up
out
and
of
put
it.
it in your pocket, and
Or you
take
can
with
get it and
or
you could Kobe.
Yeah,
you can
I
throw
mean,
it in the
there
trash.
you go.
throw that right in the corner and be like, nah, it's one of those things. We can drop some bombs on you, or you can just keep on scrolling past it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So what's been going on, guys? Like, what is it that y'all been up to? I know Johnny's been on vacation. Mike just went on vacation. Man, all three of y'all just went on vacation.
Yeah.
What y'all talking about there? I'm sorry.
I mean, but hey,
goddamn.
I went to
Where'd
Port
y'all
A.
go?
He went to Destin, Florida. He went to Jamaica. I'm over
There
here
you
like
go.
Port A.
Jamaica, man. So what was the most shocking thing you saw in Jamaica? Was this your first time, by the way, Johnny?
First time in Jamaica, yeah, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Everybody says yeah, man. So it's not just a cliche. Everybody says it.
Everybody says it.
So it's a term of endearment, term of acknowledgement. You say, hey, can I get that jerk chicken? Or can I? Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
So from the hibachi grills everywhere, we did rafting, we did excursions. It was a top-notch experience, man. I highly recommend if you're thinking about going to Jamaica, make that shit happen.
Nice.
It's a game changer. It's an expensive place to live. So we found some
yeah,
locals
really?
there that are American. They've been living there for 13 years.
Really?
And they're from the Boston area. And I said, why are you living in Jamaica? Out of every place. She goes, well, I'm a humanitarian, and I'm in the medical field, so I came here to help children, and I just stayed. My heart stayed here, my mind stayed here, and I've stayed here. So I said, is it more expensive than the United States? She says, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, it's an island.
Wow.
Yeah. Importing a car, importing everything is expensive.
Yep, everything has to be shipped in.
So I'm over there at getting some Cheetos and some water. It was like $14 for Cheetos and water.
Dang.
Yeah, but I was thirsty, man, so I had no
He said,
choice.
I was thirsty. He said, I want some Cheetos. I'm going to pay $14 for some
Flamin'
Cheetos.
hot.
Yeah,
Flaming
Cheetos.
Hots.
Yeah.
Hey, so I am curious. That reminds me. I just seen the other day. I think I don't know what year it is, but it was just the anniversary of like the Cool Runnings, the Jamaican bobsled team. Yeah, that movie, classic. It's
Oh,
fun.
okay, yeah, it's a classic one.
Hey, so speaking of that, so one of the things me and my daughter used to do as kids, we'd quote that movie and be like, "Hey, you dead man?" Yeah, man.
Yeah,
You
man.
dead, man? Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So what was
So, I don't
so,
know, so we,
Oh, go ahead.
now I was gonna say, I guess so. We were just on vacation. Hey, but
Yeah,
I
how
think
was
the
that?
vacationing is part of like feeling continuously refreshed.
Oh, yeah.
come
Wellness,
back.
mental
you
wellness.
got to
Going.
recharge. You
Yes,
got to
man.
recharge because I felt it. Like when we got back, we had a couple customers, you know, they were talking to Yvonne. They're like, well, we can tell y'all are recharged, you know, y'all smiling coming in.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did. We went to Port A 6 days and we had a blast, man. I mean, we had a good time. You know, had a golf cart the whole time. So just back and forth at the beach. We had a pool there at the house we were staying at. So
Hey, wait. So you were telling us off camera earlier, like there was an adventure because there was
there was an
feisty
adult
group.
scene, man. There was an adult scene popping off at Port A this past week, man.
Was there pineapples there?
Oh yeah, man.
And were they
what
upside
did
down?
their flag say? It play well with others. Yeah,
All right.
Everybody,
Sharing is caring?
Oh yeah, sharing is caring. Friends of friends. Oh man, it was.
There's two pairs of eyes out on one person.
Dude, it was crazy, bro. Like it was about a quarter mile of that, man, out there on
That's what's
the
up.
beach in Port A. It was crazy, and then it just transformed into the clubs and the bars there in town after it got dark, and that was crazy.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
What was the
Dick
craziest
told
thing
me-
you saw?
I mean, just
A third nipple? Did you see a third nipple?
Yeah, probably third nipples, 4 nipples. Yeah,
Do you remember that movie, Total Recall?
yeah.
I just thought
got
of
the
that.
third boob right there.
Yeah.
No,
2
it was
weeks,
just
2
weird seeing
weeks.
that kind of lifestyle. You know what I mean? Just out and about right there in Port A. You know what I mean? I'm on a public beach. You know, so I mean, it was cool. Got to see something different. That was for sure.
Mom.
Did you get your ear tugged out and said, come here, Michael?
Yeah, come here. Who are you? You know,
No, from your wife. Saying,
No,
Get over
we,
here.
we knew what was going on, man. So I'm a big dancer, so there was a couple times in the club, man. I had my back up against the wall, and I was just fighting it because the women in those groups are very aggressive. I'll put it that way. So I was minding my P's and Q's, and I knew where my ass needed to be, right next to my lady.
Good. You made the right choice.
Oh yeah, I did.
Hey, and now was your name Michael on vacation in that moment?
Or Miguel.
It was
Miguel.
Michael.
Oh, Miguel.
Yeah, it was
Miguel come out. Yeah, Miguel comes out
Miguel
sometimes.
did come out. So I don't know if y'all saw the videos or not. Oh my God! Like I had on those highlighter Nikes I had just gotten.
Oh, okay.
And then this
Hell
polo
yeah,
that I
those
had
are some
just
badass
gotten. So
Nikes.
I was literally glowing in this club, literally glowing. And then we left out of. I
Well,
think it
you
was-
look like a big pineapple. That's
Yeah,
probably
I
why
guess
you
that's
had all
probably what they
that.
thought it was. Man. They're like, oh, look at that big man. Yeah, so no, we left out of there and went to one of our old school. It's a bar that has been there since I've been in high school, Bernie's. And I walked in there, and I don't think I left the dance floor for like 3 hours, bro.
There you go.
I was on it. Miguel
No wonder
came
you
out.
lost so much damn weight. You
Yeah.
lost all those calories on the dance
Sweating it
floor.
all out.
Miguel was out that night, and then we went and hit the beach in the golf cart, and yeah, man, Miguel was out till about 4:30, 5 o'clock.
If you're ever out and you get a chance to meet Miguel, man, he's a great guy. Good guy to be around.
yeah,
Has a
Miguel,
great
man,
time.
he's fun. I like that guy.
You can't miss him.
Pendejo.
Yeah, he gets that way sometimes. He will turn into a fucking Pendejo, boy. That is for sure, man. That guy, like, shit, I want to slap the shit out of him the next day, but he's not around the next day. He only comes out at certain times.
That's hilarious. Well, I'm glad you had fun, man.
Johnny's met Miguel a couple times. I got video of Johnny just sitting there, just.
Like, bro. I'm like, what are you doing, man?
Johnny's like, I thought I was the pendejo around here.
Dude, and I was toasted, and I was looking at you like, dude, what are you doing, man?
Hey, it sobered him up, bro. He was like,
Did he just say that? Was that your birthday?
yeah,
That
it was
was
my
your
birthday.
right?
Yeah, my birthday week. Yeah.
That's funny, man. Hell yeah.
Good times.
That was definitely next level shit.
Hey, next level, we only live once, man. So I'm going to live it that way anytime I can get, man.
That's
I don't
what's
care
up.
how old I get.
Hell yeah. You
So
gotta enjoy
unwinding, man. So last episode with Nick Marquez, we talked about mental health and how specifically men's mental health. Of course, it's for women as well. But since we're all men here talking on the show, we'll talk about men's mental health. So he opened up about how does he unwind? I think my question was, how do you unwind? And he says, I really don't. I don't know how to.
Yeah.
I recently learned, but I didn't know how to.
Right.
So he goes 100 miles an hour, as all of us do. I'm always grinding. I'm always out there just doing my thing. And you guys, that's why I love surrounding myself with you guys, because you guys have the same mentality.
Right.
But it could be dangerous as well. It's not always fun.
No, it's
mentally.
not. Mentally, just physically.
It's ebb and flow. We get stressed out, and little things trigger us throughout the day, or in the middle of the night, you start thinking of shit. Your brain's just going. Your brain never sleeps. So sometimes I can't unwind, man.
Yeah.
And Jerry, you've talked about mental health. That's a big issue.
Big part of my life, man.
You discuss it openly on social media as well. You've gone through some things, and you're brave enough to discuss it, and we love that. Because it's not a weakness, it's a strength when you're able to discuss that openly amongst everybody and let people know, hey, I'm a human.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just not some machine. I'm just not Jerry Sauceda, Michael Mann, Johnny Martinez, Justin Castillo over here. We're just going hardcore all day and nothing's going to stop us.
Right.
No.
We're humans.
We're
human,
humans. And
like,
there comes a point where we get tired. So how do you cope with stress, man?
Yeah.
How do you do it?
Yeah. Well, man, to your point, so yeah, the mental health side of things, I will tell you, I've been on a major transformation probably over the last 3 years, for sure. And I'll tell you this, I just think because, like, the amount of our mental space that we don't tap into, that we do have access to, and how it affects our lives is incredible. And I think that's the thing that really shifted for me, is being able to then either reprogram, reshape, understand myself better.
Rewire
I'm a
yourself.
big student, and that's one of those things. It's more about learning myself. So you asked that question about coping with things, number of different ways. Some of the things that I've done that I didn't do for myself is I recognized, like, a healthy thing is I always felt like I would tell myself, I got to be busy. I got to be around people. I got to be doing something. I got to keep myself busy. But the thing that was draining about that was then when I was alone, I started feeling lonely, depressed. Am I doing enough? Am I providing for my family, for my daughter? You just begin questioning things like, what's my purpose in life? God, what should I do? Like, just all of that, right? Because
Not taking that
you're
me time.
really never allowing that level of self-care. So one of the big things in terms of coping is my time, bro, is that early in the morning and getting into a routine that's good for me. And so, dude, like, I've worked with a men's mental health coach now, trauma coach for the last couple of years, to get to that place of saying, hey, you know what? Like, I'm excited about me and my life and what I'm doing. I'm not needing to go find other people to validate or make me feel good, because that's only going to last so long.
Yep.
But if I can look at myself in the mirror and say, like, hey, I will tell you this, one of the biggest turning points of that was finally being able to say, you know what? I love Jerry Sauceda. And I love me. I love my life. I love what I do. Love the people I'm around. it is not dictated by anything or anybody else. So the morning routine for me was super important. So little things like that, music, big part of my life. So, you know, I got music playing going on, go to the gym pretty consistently, probably 4 or 5 times a week. And not only the gym, but, you know, I do group workouts. You know, if I was going to be around people, I wanted to be around people doing things that were productive and effective for my life. So going to work out and doing things like that. So that was a big part of it. And then when I came home, because, you know, social media is just such like a freaking black hole, man, like just sucks you in.
It drains you. Yep.
It's a rabbit hole, man.
I was like, okay, I got to protect that time, man. So that was extremely important. So, you know, that was one of the things I found that has worked, that has coped with me really well. And just being consistent with it, man. That's what we talked about, like whether the vacation, the time off, you know, and then also instead of being so concerned about going to the masses, like I said, you know, being in business, bro, you know, you talk about like, hey, we need to be in the public eye. You got to network. You got to be shaking hands, kissing babies, doing all that kind of stuff, right? What I have found to be more productive now with my success in business is that I have a tribe that I'm close with that is really like, man, they get it. They understand. Just be me. They can relate to that. And so that has helped me cope with that too, because, man, it sucks when you feel like I just had a lot of associations, but very shallow relationships.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now I maybe have more select, fewer, but very deep connections. So that helps me to cope and being able to know, like, hey, man, I've got a really good support system. My family, the group of friends that I have around me, stick close with that. And I'm not so concerned about, I think we talked about this before, about what other people think and getting just wrapped up into that.
Right.
Yeah, because who cares what other people think?
Yep.
I mean, God, y'all see me all the time. I mean, I could give 2 shits what anybody thinks about me, because it doesn't matter. The only person that I care about what I do or whatever is my wife. And that's it. And that's all I care. I mean, everybody else, as long as I'm doing good and we're killing it and we're crushing it, man, I don't care what anybody else thinks.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like, y'all aren't paying our bills. Y'all aren't
It's easy to
doing
get
everything.
wrapped up
Yep.
It is.
in that,
So,
and thinking about that.
And to that, you know, when I, you know, working with and shout out to my men's mental health coach, because she is a badass. Her name's Elise Michaels. You know, I found her through LinkedIn, and then, you know, been working with her for the last couple of years. But one of those things I'm talking about coping with things mentally is just asking myself this question is like, is that true? You know, as soon as a thought jumps in my mind, I'm like, is that actually true? Like, because majority of the time it isn't. I mean, we're lying to ourselves. We're fooling ourselves. Like, it's just not. And, you know, one of those biggest things was, you know, I've had to work a lot through codependency. Now, I have a very close relationship with my daughter. She's 17 now, but I've been a single dad, have primary custody of her since she was 3. We just have a strong relationship. But if anybody's been a father to someone that's a teenager, once they get through middle school years, start driving, it becomes less and less about, I need you. And they need you in a different way. But for me, I really had to cope and deal with those kinds of things. So it was like, I would start telling myself, man, I'm lonely.
Yep.
But when the thing is, I'd be like, is that true? Am I actually alone? And the thing was, I wasn't. You know, I'm depressed. I'm anxious. Am I actually those things? I was like, no, I'm none of those things.
Right.
So that's one of those things I had to check myself and constantly still do. You know,
Oh,
like,
you have to
what
do
lies
that
am I
almost every day of the
believing?
week. You know what I
What
mean?
lies
For
am I
all of us.
believing, right?
Right.
Yep.
You look yourself in the mirror. Look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, boom, let's get it. You know, you got to be positive toward yourself. You know, that's what I'm.
That positive talk for sure.
Dude, and Jerry, I told you this the other day. You have grown so much, man. Not only grown on me, but I've seen you mature beyond. Not that you were immature. That's the wrong word, mature. Grow and developed. You've developed into, in my eyes, a leader. So I know a lot of things about leadership. I've been in leadership roles. And one of my biggest things is I judge people on their ability to stand out, to lead others, to make an impact, to bring value. At first, I didn't really know you, and I didn't really want to know you. And then I'm just keeping it real.
You wouldn't be the first person who's ever.
Yeah,
But since-
Because I've known Jerry for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, me and Yvonne have known Jerry for a long time.
But since I got to know you, it's been great, man. You've brought value, and I've watched you public speak. I've watched you hang out with your daughter. I've talked to you, had conversations, in-depth conversations,
Yeah.
and they've been valuable to me. I've seen you lead the way for these the the mastermind. God,
Yeah.
what's the name?
Hype
of
Club.
Hype Club.
Yep.
That's a huge responsibility, and people are depending on you to bring value. You're doing it, and so those
Appreciate
kind of things, man, those go
Yeah.
a long way with me.
I'll give some truth about that too, man. Like again, you know, I've seen Jerry grow, and when I've, you know, told a lot of people, you know, that, you know, it's tough to be around Jerry sometimes back then, you know, and then I think it was just him trying to find himself though, you know, trying to be true to what you wanted to be, you know, and I think about that a lot too, you know, Jerry, because I was like, man, there's weird that this is where we ended up in a way, like, like you were talking about friend group. I never would have thought all of us would be hanging out the way we hang out. Exactly. You know what I mean? And we have all like-minded people. And to go back in that mental health part, like that's what's helped me too, man. Being around, you know, these two jabronis over here too, you know, or you know, being around Jessica and feeling that love to want to be around, man, because it's crazy to find out that over all these years you could be with the people that you grew up with, and it's like they're the fucking weirdest strangers ever sometimes, because where your brain is, where their brain's at, it just doesn't mesh anymore.
Yeah.
You know,
you outgrow them sometimes.
Outgrow them, exactly.
You outgrow them, you know. I've had friends that I've had, you know, for 10, 15 years, you know what I mean? And when you go to level up sometimes, they're not there to level up with you, you know what I mean? And it sucks, but you got to keep moving and keep trucking along sometimes, and sometimes you just outgrow people, man. And it really happens a lot, more than you think it does, but yeah.
So can I ask you one more question, Jerry? And I'll cut this if we have to too, but it might get a little personal.
Oh, you're good.
So Michael just said like he has Yvonne and he doesn't give a fuck about anything, and I think Johnny's the exact same way because he has that person, right? Now that you are in a relationship, do you feel you lost some of that thinking of like, you know, the lonely thinking in ways? Like, did you lose that because you have somebody now? Or is that still kind of something that stays there, that you kind of are still battling?
Oh, dude, it still comes up. I wouldn't say constantly, but those thoughts or feelings, they happen, bro. I mean, they definitely do. Because the thing is, it's not dependent, right, on being in a relationship or with someone. You know, again, one, it's a feeling. Like, I feel a certain way. I could be in a room with 50 people and still feel alone.
Yeah,
bro.
Yeah,
that's one of those things. Like, that's probably one of the hardest things I think not only I deal with, but probably all of us in a sense, men especially, is that feeling of like, you know what, I'm alone because nobody else understands what it's like to be in my position or the things I've gone through.
Right.
And that is probably one of the hardest things. Like, you know, like I said, you could be in a room filled with people and be like, they don't get it. Johnny don't understand. Michael don't understand.
Yep.
They're not going to be able to sympathize, empathize with me. And part of that is then it kind of manifests itself into being like, what does it matter? I don't need to say anything. I don't need to share my story. You know, and then it becomes like, what do I matter? You know? So, dude, I still have those feelings like at times where I'm lonely because in moments I'm like, all right, there's just some to extent people aren't going to be in my exact shoes. I won't be in Mike's, shoes. Yours, you know, Johnny.
And see, I think that's what a lot about mental health people forget is just talk to each other. That's the main thing. Like, people have forgotten just to talk to each other, man. Like, I think with the whole, you know, the pandemic and all that, like, you see it. You walk by a stranger down the street, they're not going to say hi to you. They'd rather look down at the street than say, hey, how you doing, sir? You having a good day?
That was
man, I'm the talker, man. I'm going to talk to you as I walk by you. I'm going to say hi to you, having a good day, because we only get one life. You know what I mean? So I try to stay that positive, you know, just smile on the face and let's go enjoy this now. It's not always like that. You know, you can't live like that. That's the persona that is just not going to happen.
And I've seen that shift in my life. I was going to say earlier, you know, essentially our lives are a mirror, right? And that's who I was. JRock, you've known me long enough. Michael's known me long enough, but especially JRock, in this sense, we've been in some circles where it's like I kind of had that persona and would hear from people. It's like, man, you kind of carry yourself like you're like unapproachable, you know, nose up in the air. It's like, okay, well, now I can tell the difference. I walk into the room. You know what? Like, I'm going to go approach people. I'm going to open up conversation. You know, I'm going to show them a side of Jerry where it'll be like, man, I didn't know you were like that. Well, this is who I am. This is who I really want.
You guys ever watch Seinfeld?
I watched a couple times.
Do you remember his uncle? Yay, Jerry's here.
No, I don't
That's
know
what, that's what we say now.
Yeah, Jerry's here.
You know what I'm talking about?
Exactly
But no,
That's what we say now.
I like how you said it earlier. You know, there's a lot about us that people don't know.
Yeah.
You know, people see me out and about here in town and they're thinking, oh, he's a good guy, fun to be around, this and that. But there's a business side of me. You know, there's a whole other world, you know, that I've lived before I had the store. You know, a lot of people that know that I've been a general contractor for over 20 years, commercial general contractor, and just everything. And even Johnny has said, he goes, dude, every time I talk to you, it's something new, man, you know? And I'm like, well, man, you have to be, you know, that way in society here.
A resource.
Right. You just can't
You're
just
a resource.
be one thing.
You're a resource. I'm a resource. He's a
Right.
resource. So my advice to men, take care of your mental health, communicate with each other,
Right.
just like I did. I give people feedback, whether they like it
They
or
like
not.
it or not. Like it or
I
not.
give them my feedback, and I want people to give me feedback as well.
Just be honest. Just be truthful because you'll realize people are more in tune. They'll be like at first. A lot of people reject that, you know, but then once they stop and understand, all right, he's just really telling me and being truthful to me.
He's trying to help me.
He's trying to help me out. Yeah.
So find a mentor, find that role model, find somebody you can talk to.
Yeah, and be open-minded to things. And I'm sorry, Jerry, if I feel like this is a really good conversation we're having for people to be open-minded about people that they meet and been around. Like, be a little more open-minded. And Johnny can, you know, get me back on this, and even Jesse, you know, whenever Jesse contacted me, he was like, hey, there's this gig in New Orleans, you know, and I'm thinking, he goes, you drive up there by yourself? Oh, cool. I'm like, cool. Like, this is a new experience.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, Jerry's going to go with you. And I'm like, I don't know about that one. And he's like, why? I was like, again, you know, it's just past, whatever. He's just bro, come on, just give it a shot. I'm like, I mean, I'm going to do it either way. Like, if he wants to go, let's go, because I'm worried about the business part of this, and I'm worried about the experience, so let's fucking go.
Yeah.
You know, called Johnny. It was like, hey, man, I'm about to be in the car with, you know, Jerry for maybe a couple hours, and I don't know how this is going to go. And people that are out there, if you feel like you're
Build a relationship with him.
Yeah, he did.
Just
Johnny
talk.
did tell me that, and I said, look,
Get to know him.
yeah, and you know what? I'll say this right now too. I hated that my mindset went there, because I'm so open to so many things. Like, why couldn't I already had that in my head? I already knew who Jerry was, and it wasn't like that anymore. I think you had changed, you know, and I think a big part of that was just like, man, just fucking go and do it. Let's just do this. So, and that changed a lot, Jerry. I'm not gonna lie to you. That conversation that we had, I mean, half of it was just enjoying each other's time.
Yep.
And remember just driving, picking music. You know, Eileen was with us too. You know, but the biggest thing was that changed my mind so much, bro. And I appreciate you for that.
Oh, yeah.
Because I didn't know that just reopening a book of that I've already read in a way that I thought I did, it would create so much more. And here we are, man. I mean, I've hung out with y'all when, you know, with that DJ. Go check them out, guys, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Just seeing y'all grow in that first couple years, man, it was really cool. And I would do that all over again. You know what I mean?
Bro.
So, but appreciate you being, you know, being the everlast punching bag right now in a way. But I'm glad that you.
No, it's a punching bag, but it's also where you're leveled up, bro.
Yeah, man. And but that's the main thing that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The level up part is the end of where we're at right now. And damn it, bro. I mean, I consider you a brother now. I mean, as much I don't give a fuck if my older brother's watching. I consider you more of a brother than my older brother.
You're a community leader, man,
Yeah,
and
I
you're
appreciate
a
that,
game
man.
changer.
Hell yeah, dog.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, guys.
So-
I appreciate
Hey,
that.
and a lot of people don't like approaching us either,
No.
because they kind of think the same thing. Oh,
Yeah.
Johnny, Michael,
Johnny's a
Justin,
dick.
You know,
Hey,
Hey, he is a dick. You ever hung out with him? No.
like this.
Yeah. Mr.
hey, somebody's got to cook the fries.
Yeah,
Someone's gonna make the
that's
fries,
what
man.
Somebody gotta make the
tells me
fries,
now.
bro.
I
Somebody
use
gotta make
that
the
phrase
fries.
all the time now.
Hey,
Someone's
but
got to
real
kick the
quick,
fries.
I want to tell you, and going back to the mental health, just kind of wrap this up. But you know what? I didn't want to hang out with that old dude. I didn't want to hang out with the old Jerry. I look back, like I get like Facebook memories or something. I'm like, bro, it was such just a facade.
Yeah.
But I also get part of mental health is understanding that tons of people do that.
Yeah.
You know, they're put on this front. It's ultimately like, what are you trying to get out of it? And for me, like I understood now, it's like, man, I just wanted to be loved. You know, dealt with some difficult things where, you know, Hispanic culture had parents that weren't very verbal. they showed they loved me, but they didn't really say it. I was just seeking a lot of that validation, right? And so that's kind of where I would go and do that. It's like, who do I need to become to be loved by the people around me? Well, it's like, man, I didn't even love myself. I didn't even look in the mirror and be like, dang. So I look back on that now, and I will tell you this is one of the most profound things now. I've been divorced legally twice. I've had a common law marriage, so basically 3 divorces. I will tell you this, the best divorce that I've gone through is divorcing myself.
Wow.
That old person. That's what I tell people all this.
Once you get rid of that old person, it's a totally different light out there, man.
Yeah. So hearing some, if I got to hear the truth for someone like a Johnny, I've had mentors in my life that, you know what, they knew they needed to speak that kind of truth because it was going to make a difference. And maybe in that season of your life, you're not ready to hear it. But it's just like, I think even with children, right? It's like, man, when they hear it from their parent, they're like, I don't want to hear that. Yeah. And later on down the road, it's like, man, that meant
So how do you feel? A quick question that's meant on this one, because I used to be a way different person. You know what I mean? I'm not the Michael I am today. You know what I mean? So how do you feel when somebody that knew you back, when you're not the same person now, tries to not throw it in your face, but bring up the old you? You know what I mean? How do you feel about that one?
Well, I run into that too.
I run into it sometimes now also. So,
and I'll say this, for some context, I'm born and raised where we're at here. My entire family from here. I've never lived anywhere else. Where I run multiple business in much in the public eye. So I've come across that quite a bit, right?
Yeah.
And here's my thing: what I've grown comfortable with is just like, not everybody's for me, and I'm not for everybody.
Yeah. Already.
Yeah.
And that is okay.
Yeah.
That is fine.
You outgrew them. I outgrew myself. You know what I mean? I outgrew that person.
Yeah. So and I've seen, religion in a sense too has been a big part of my background in life. And you know what? That's where there's been a lot of friction, and I've gone through some major transformation in my own personal belief system. And I had to break kind of out of that. Was like, man, do I believe that, or is that really something I've been influenced by? I was just kind of following. So I run into a lot of
shit, bro.
I run into a lot of that. Just to be open and candid about it. You know what is really like with corporate church or leadership and things like that, where it's like, man, I knew the old Jerry who was this kind of thing, and it's like, man, I still believe in the same God. And nothing to preach things, but I still believe, and I'm that same person at my core, but who you met, maybe what your perception was of me, that's on you.
Yeah.
That's on you.
You got to deal with that.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
You said something earlier that your parents didn't really show you the emotional love and things like that.
They showed me, but they didn't say it.
They didn't say it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We all have love languages, right? I like the words of affirmation. Johnny, hey, we love you and you're doing a great job. Just a little.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. And that's why I've been married so long. My wife says, hey, I love you. I appreciate you.
Oh, hell yeah.
And it shows me respect because men want to be valued. Yeah. People want to be valued.
Valued, respect, needed, wanted.
Once you feel like you're not needed, you're irrelevant.
Right.
As a father, as a husband, as a friend, as a man.
Yeah.
You're done. Then you become worthless.
Yep.
Well, appreciate that, because the dating world is fucking crazy right now.
hey,
the women are fucking
great transition. Look at that.
The women really now. I'm sorry, bro, and I know that there's some really good women out there, but I haven't ran into. I ran into a few, but I fucked that up. But my point is this: they want everything on one-sided nowadays.
Oh yeah,
that's
you better have
I need that for me. I need physical. I need everything. You better have the money. All that. I'm like, what the?
And then I'm like, then I'll hear everybody like, what are you doing? What job you got?
Yeah.
You got your own house. What's your credit score? But they're like, oh, don't worry about that.
That's crazy that it gets to that point though. Yeah. And I'll be honest with you. I actually just talked to my godson's mother about this too the other day. It was like, dude, I went on a date and I left that bitch there. I'm sorry. Like, let me tell you what happened. So we get in there.
What'd she call you?
Real talk, right? We say this show
real talk. Bro. I did. So I'm being real.
I gotta go boo real quick. I'll be right back.
How is it that when you sit down, the first thing you start talking about is what do you do? What do you do for a living? And I'm like, okay, yeah, this conversation can go well. Then she starts asking how much money I make. And then she started asking, like, what's gonna be my top priority for her? And I was like, what the fuck?
Hey, at least she's cutting to the chase.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah,
at least she's letting it out front.
See, I don't like that no more. Just lie to me for a little bit. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
Hey, in
It was just weird.
the infamous words of Jesse E., I didn't know I was taking a quiz. Like,
I thought we were eating dinner, having conversation as adults. You know,
Yeah,
I didn't know I needed to bring my
now, hey,
pencil.
so I'm curious. So Johnny, what were you going to say? Because the words of affirmation thing, right?
Oh, yeah, my bad,
And
sorry.
So, where were you going with that? And I agree. I mean,
No.
because that's my number one, actually. My number
Yeah,
one, like
that's
love
words of
language.
affirmation.
And you talk about being able to cope with things is part of that. I had to learn that about myself. What do I need or want from other people? And then being able to express that.
Yep.
Like, I had some very open conversations with my parents as a grown-ass man. Just saying like, hey, asking, why don't you ever say you love me? Literally having one of those conversations. And it's tough because you kind of think like, and you're just, I don't know, maybe naive. And then they have to hear from my parents. They were like, well, we never heard we were loved.
Right.
So we were just mimicking.
It's the way they
what
were
we
raised.
grew up around.
It
Yeah.
was the way they were
the
raised.
old school,
man.
the old school men,
mentality, yeah.
grandpas.
They didn't say I love you. They didn't give you hugs. You know what I mean? Things like that.
If they stayed away or didn't tell you something, that's their way of saying I love you.
right.
Or if they just acknowledged you,
Yeah.
they just said like give you a nod or something.
Yeah.
Or if you made it
Or-
without an ass whooping,
Yeah. If you didn't get your ass whooped
That was-
every day,
that was
When did,
they meant they love
okay,
you.
that's a good question. When did y'all stop getting your ass whooped as a child? Do you remember? Jerry's like, I got my ass whooped.
My
last
dad
night."
had to die for me to get stop getting my ass whooped.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know. I could get my ass whooped any day, bro. Like, by my parents, if I just.
But it made you better, right?
But, yeah.
Yeah.
So have you read the book yet? Have y'all read the book? Or is this just something that y'all know by Gary Chapman? Have y'all read the book before?
The book.
Oh, the 5 love
The
languages?
5 Love Languages?
I have. Yeah.
Okay.
I've actually
have.
attended a marriage counseling younger in our marriage. It was through the military. They picked 5 couples who wanted to go hang out at the Hyatt, whatever. But we actually got value out of it. We got to learn not only the love languages, but how to communicate, how to respect each other, how to talk about each other's lives, fantasies, future, all kinds of stuff. So it was pretty deep, and I think that set us on a great path to how to communicate with each other.
Gave you a good blueprint.
It gave me a good blueprint, and she understands my love language, and I don't know if she just tells me that she respects me and loves me, but I'm pretty sure she does. She shows me every day.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's pretty powerful.
Yeah, she's still here.
After 23 years, the average woman might have said, screw this guy.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm outta
we
here."
have to be doing something right,
Right.
Johnny. I mean, I'm at 27 now. You're at 23. So,
But that's the way it should be anyways, man. You should figure it the fuck out.
yeah, I mean, you got to figure it out. I mean, it's not easy. Trust me. I mean,
isn't.
even
And
this
that's-
day,
and
even
that's
to this
why-
day, it's
yeah.
not easy.
I have so much admiration for my parents because they've been married almost 40 years. They were teen parents, man. Teen parents. They didn't have a 5 love languages book and all
No.
this kind
Yeah.
of stuff, bro.
Yeah, my
They
parents
just literally grew up and they're just like, we just figure it out, man. And I mean, I have so much admiration, especially after marriages, relationships I've gone through. We're just seeing society the way that it is now, and it's just not valued. But the words of affirmation from me. But I think also going through that, we're fathers, we're parents to children, is also knowing their love language. So I've seen how to apply it to them, and having that connection with my daughter. Because I think it's so easy, especially as a man or a dad, to just be like, man, I got to be provider. I'm just going to shower them with gifts. Like, what do you
Yeah.
need? What do you got to pay for? Blah, blah, blah.
It's more than that.
It's so much
It's
more than
coaching
that,
them. It's
man.
coaching them in softball, taking them to school every day.
Being
taking
there.
their lunch. You know what I mean? Just whatever. Being there for them. What they need. Like my daughter, I coached her softball from all 4 years of high school. Like 17 girls
Badass.
every summer. That was our summer. Every
Yeah.
summer, that's what we did. Me and another dad, as we did the select team. Every summer, 17 girls,
Yep.
bro. And I mean, I wouldn't trade it for the world, but oh my God. The stories and the stuff you hear from 17 high school girls. Oh my God, man. Especially back then, I couldn't even imagine what it is now. So, but it was fun though. I mean, it was a lot of fun, and you learn a lot about each other. So I miss it a lot, because we used to, it'd just be me and my daughter sometimes. Just gone, to the softball tournaments.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we'd have to be there at 7:00 in the morning, and
all
Mom's
day,
like,
bro. It's an
I'll be
all
over there
day
about 10. I'll catch y'all in the second game, or
So
something like that.
so to that point, and I love that. I'm pretty good with my words, right? I've hosted, I'm a public speaker, doing things like that, and man, I know words of affirmation for my daughter is important, right? And she's an athlete, so every game day, since middle school. She's going to be a senior this year. I've sent her a game day message by text. Now, tell me that this is not important to her. I think it was her sophomore year. It was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. They were going to have a game in a couple hours. And she's like, hey, did you forget something? Is everything okay? And I was like, what's going on? She's like, you didn't send me a game day message today.
Yeah.
It's a ritual.
That was the only time, bro, that one time. And yet all the other times I thought she wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, she don't care. They don't care. You
Bro.
know, but no.
And yes, they are, right?
Yep.
They're watching and they're listening. All those things matter. But I knew that's when then I was like, okay, that matters to her. Even if it's like I don't get no big drawn out response, no award, no pat it back. Nobody else has seen that. Just me and her.
Yeah.
You know, and I've only shared this a few times that I've done that. But I knew when she said, hey, you forgetting something? Like, I was like, man, that matters. Haven't missed since, right?
Yep. I'll never forget. I know I've missed one football game and one softball tournament of Maddie's. And I was closing a land deal in Louisiana for my son's football game, and I couldn't get back in time. And my uncle passed away in Lubbock, and I couldn't stay there for the softball tournament for Maddie.
Yeah.
But that was the only 2 times that I know I'm like, still to this day, you know, how I miss those games.
And with y'all having kids, man, and seeing that side of it, me being a coach on my side with select basketball, you know, I would say about my basketball career, I had 100 games, right? My dad and my mom went to 2. Now, did I ever hold that against them? No, because I understood what was going on at home. You know, they didn't go to work. We didn't have food. We didn't have clothes. We didn't have a roof over our table. But some kids take it differently. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I was one of those kids.
Yeah, yeah.
I took it
You
differently. You know what I mean? Because I'll never forget my mom. She was a single mom. She'd get tired. You know, we'd be playing baseball in Helotes till, 9, 10 o'clock at night. Well, some nights, man, she'd go to the car and go to sleep. And man, I'd hit a home run or something like that,
looking
bro.
for them, right? You're just like
looking for my mom, and I'd come back around the bases, and I'll never forget that lady'd be like, "Baby, she's out in the car smoking a cigarette, or she's out in the car asleep." And man, I'll never forget that game-winning, that last one. I think it was my junior year. I was done. I didn't want to play no more, and I should have been playing for myself, but I just I wanted my mom or there to be, and I was that kid. I was done. Doom. Hit that game-winning home run, stepped on that plate. She wasn't where she was supposed to be, and I never played again.
Yeah, and I've tried my absolute best to. Man, I'm gonna be real with this. I mean, I got a lot of Hispanic kids on my team that they can't be there sometimes because their parents can't pay for it. But I'm like, no, keep coming. And that's there's been times where that's came out of my pocket, but I'm like, this is what I'm doing this for, you know. But it means a lot for for a kid for you to be there,
just to show up.
Yeah, because you got to think about this too. These kids are about to be put in a situation where they're very uncomfortable, and then it doesn't make it help. I mean, it does. Sometimes it does. Sometimes whatever. It doesn't help that they're about to go into this game. And man, we're playing for district. Man, we got to keep our lead. Man, And there's so much pressure in sports that obviously that's helped me over the years as a man I am today. But it will help these young kids to grow one day, to go through life, go through college, go through this big project that has to be done at work. Like that's gonna help them grow with that, But man, kudos to y'all for being there for your kiddos with that, because again, you're gonna find out later on in years how much of an impact that's gonna make.
I think being a girl dad is important, and you hit it on the head earlier. Just saying I love you and being there for your daughter is so impactful, because girls want their dad to say I love you, and that I've seen adults and had conversations with adults, males and females, that said I never had my dad, and there was always a void. And the mom is crucial, but just having the father figure to say, hey, I love you. Whether the dad left or passed away or whatever, they had that void. Yeah. And they're looking for that in their husband or their boyfriend or things like that. Yep. And I had this conversation with my wife this morning. We were driving out to an event. And we're talking about something that JRock just kind of touched on, like women today and men. It's the same thing. So I met my wife when she was 18 years old, 17, 18 years old, right? And she was poor. I grew up poor. She had no expectations. So I showed her travel. I showed her military service. I showed her commitment. I showed her all these things, and I told her today, if I ever get wrapped around a pole one day and I'm no longer here, I've led you for 23 years in a way that you now are going to have these high expectations for a new husband, if she ever has a new husband. Same thing with the girls nowadays. It depends on where you're at. Some of these girls are 21, 22. They've already been wined and dined, and they've had all these experiences where these guys take them out and show them all these.
Yeah, so that's on private jets. You know,
that's why they're asking.
Yeah.
That's why they're asking, how much do you make? A girl that doesn't know any better is not going to ask you how much they make, or how it's not even a factor. They're going to ask you, hey, how can you treat me?
Right.
How
do you have a job? Like, you know, thank you for taking me out to eat.
How are you going to provide for me? Instead of how much do you make?
Right.
So guys are the same way. I mean, people now have these high expectations of everybody.
Yeah.
If I have a woman, she has to have these big double D's and big butt because I've been watching the Kardashians.
I just wanted to cook
whatever.
tortillas, bro. That's
right.
Yeah.
Or a woman, I got to have this guy who's making $1 million because I've been watching this TikTok.
Right.
Whatever.
Because that's what social media is. It's just the best of the best of the best.
Yeah.
That's all you're going to see on social media. You know what I mean? Is the best of life that they're living right now that they're posting.
So that's hard nowadays to date because these people have these high expectations and unrealistic expectations of
the high expectations, but then there's so much accessibility to options. It's that much easier just to say, you know what, on to the next one.
Yeah.
On to the next one.
But isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I mean, it is though.
Yeah.
And the intertwining and the infiltration and the brainwashing of social media has created a culture in people, young people. So even young teenagers are expecting something outlandish.
Yeah.
Yep.
Even, they don't want to put in the time.
Pornography.
Yeah.
Has created this outlandish expectation in the bedroom, or how this is how it should be, and this is a whole nother crazy topic. But this is truth.
Yeah, it is, man.
I mean, we all have access to all
Johnny,
these crazy things.
I mean, I can meet those expectations, so I really can't relate.
But that's. I mean, you want to get real? We can get real with that.
Hey,
that's a whole
to
nother
that point, and talking about social media and unrealistic expectations, because I was just reading this article earlier today. They were talking about how people are creating AI versions
of themselves,
or
God,
something that
scary.
isn't even themselves, that is now their entire persona on social media. And AI is so good now, you really are like, that person's living that life. They're in Italy traveling, they're on that beach,
they're in the metaverse.
They're there, this is what they do, and you're like, wait, like, is this even a person? And it's not even catfishing.
Yeah.
Because it's not like, hey, it's a real human that's just using different, like, they've created
another person through
artificial intelligent entity.
And that's what they're posting, like, online?
Is that what they're doing? That's their social media feed.
That's their social media feed.
Yeah.
All they got to do is be like, hey, give me a feed on this today, I'm feeling this way. And it'll make a post for them.
And it's so realistic.
With different
and then
photos.
now you're living that life.
Headshots.
It's the same person, but they can be like, you know what, I want to be like, create this persona like I'm living a lavish lifestyle, doing this, looking like that, whatever. And before you know it, I mean, you're living
JRock, JRock, be careful when you're scrolling through Tinder, man. All right, or OnlyFans.
I'm basically talking to an AI chick. Is that what you're kind of saying?
Or a 400-pound dude.
What does my son have? He's got the upgraded version of Tinder. It's like an upgraded version or Tinder Gold or something like that.
Platinum.
I've never been on Tinder, by the way.
Yeah, my son.
I've been thinking about it.
As soon as he hits back stateside, he's like, man, I've been on Tinder a week already planting them. I'm like, what?
I think JRock's on Grindr. I think that's
I'm thinking about doing like a social experiment. I'm going to get on one of these and just record, vlog it, like what I go through.
There you go.
Start vlogging it.
Hey, so I got a question, John. You said wrapped around a pole. Are you starting to work at hard bodies or something soon?
No. Not that kind of pole.
Are you just starting to drive now? You got to drive too much.
When you wrap around a telephone pole,
Hey, he's got to drive himself a lot here lately. You know, he lost his chauffeur.
I had to get some humor out of that one. And then you're also like, so she had no expectation. I'm like, damn, do I got to get somebody out of a cardboard box? Or what's going on?
Well, when I say,
I don't mean that to Jessica. I mean that like towards women now. Like,
so you need to go to another part. Don't go to the ritzy part of town.
Yeah, go to John Jay.
Go to the humble,
the
humble part of town.
area. You know that area.
They're crispy over there.
Yeah.
So when you hang out in Austin at these clubs, these girls, their daddies are all making
they all got
figures.
They got money to get in them expensive clubs.
So that's
why she was calling me daddy.
There you go. Big daddy.
Daddy. Speaking of daddy, the shirt, Joe. It's the shirt too. So
I call you Poppy.
Yeah.
Hey, Poppy.
Because they have the money. They've been laced up.
Yeah, they've been laced up. So their daddy drives a Lamborghini, and their first car was some kind of Lexus or something.
Right, new.
So JRock, you don't have a chance.
I don't. I'll be single the rest of my life. You know.
God damn.
I'll be single the rest of my life.
I'm okay with that. My daughter's first car was a Mercedes Benz, so she's like you said, her standards are up here. I mean, literally, and I mean, I don't want to make my daughter sound bad, but she just has high standards, bro. And she's like, hey, Dad, if they ain't D1 and got an offer on the table,
there you go.
Hey, that's a good expectation to have.
Like, she's straight up.
That's a good expectation to have.
My point's proven.
Yeah, bro.
She's
My
like,
point's proven,
D1
right?
offers on the table.
Oh, yeah. Seriously, yeah.
And I can tell you that for a fact because she has we keep her busy. She keeps herself busy, but it's like she's not entertaining any scrubs, bro.
Damn.
Dude, it even goes down to what kind of pets
Let's
you have. If you have some kind of Rottweiler or something, girls nowadays like Aussie doodles or poodles or these little dogs, right? So I got 2 Aussie doodles,
Yes, you
But
do.
hey, that's a whole other subject, man. So before we wrap this up, we had a little chat.
He said Aussie doodle.
Aussie doodles, not just a poodle or an Australian Shepherd. It's Aussie doodle. It's got to be both.
It's got to be both.
Yeah,
So you got the double crazy.
Are you saying this because I brought my dog today, Johnny? What's going on?
Hey, so
Hey, Blue Heelers
I
are
love your
double
dog,
crazy
River.
also.
But River, she loves us, so she's going around the studio and she's just
she's
sniffing
amazing.
around. And I think she's made her appearance on Jerry's lap
Yeah.
there earlier. I don't know what
She's
she was smelling, peanut butter or something.
You have a dog, Jerry? You have a dog, right?
I don't have a dog. I'm not a dog dad.
He said, I'm not a pet person. I'm good.
Nah.
Scorpion, a fish, not like that. Ferret.
God, a scorpion.
Dude, Jesse's got a
I gotta-
fish.
I
man.
gotta
He-
pet
He
scorpion.
loves those things, right? Jesse's got a fish. He loves those
Got
things.
an aquarium, bro. So
So we had a chat going on. Is winning luck? Is success luck, or is it choices? Michael Mann, I'll let you go first.
Yeah,
man.
let's start,
All right,
Joe.
on this one, I mean, I have a couple different things about luck. You know, I've always been taught I'd rather be lucky than good any day. But I was also taught, put yourself in a position to be lucky. Put yourself around people that are doing big things. You know what I mean? Put yourself, like when I was a kid, you know, and I always wanted to catch the foul balls at the baseball games and all that. Go put yourself in the right position to get lucky, to catch one of those balls. You know, so I feel that way. It's the same way in life also. Put yourself in those positions to where if it comes around, reach out and grab it. You know, so it's a little bit of luck, but it's also just positions. Get yourself where you need to be to where you can accept that luck when it comes your way.
exactly.
That's my partake on it. You know, I mean, it might be wrong. You know, that's just my opinion on luck and being at the right place at the right time. I think that's what more of it is.
Hey, and to that point, you know, one of the sayings that I love is that life seems to reward action, not intention.
Right.
You know, it's like, I want to get lucky. You know,
I
I'm just
almost got
hoping-
lucky.
And
I'm
manifest-
hoping that it's gonna be successful. I'm hoping it's gonna work out. You know what? Like, I put myself in places where I've just taken action and gotten lucky.
Yep. And manifestation is real.
Yeah.
Manifestation, where you want to be, what your bank, what you want in your growth and this and that, just manifest it. It might not take, you know, sometimes it takes a year, 2 years. I've done it on vehicles. Like when I used to buy and sell hot rods, I'm like, man, I want that car. I want that car. Well, man, it just wouldn't happen. And you'd get so mad, you know, and then boom, all of a sudden I got that ride. So it's just one of those things that you just manifest it, put yourself in those right positions to be lucky, to reach up, to be able to grab that ball or whatever in life, just to be able to be in that position.
And
better
it's,
yourself,
you know,
and
and,
level up.
and in part in the way that people define what is luck or what is lucky. Because one person feeling like, man, you got lucky. Me is like, I'm like, to your point, is that was my expectation.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't get lucky. I expected that because of all the work, everything I've done, you know, people I've surrounded myself. So it was only going to happen. You know, for you, you didn't do shit. You were sitting there, you were hoping, you were waiting, you were thinking it was going to be coming and show up, and then you were just going to get lucky. Like, you know what? I put it into action. I expected this.
Like you thought Amazon was going to bring it. You know, that's what people think sometimes, like that Amazon's going to bring success or luck to them. Like that, it's you can't buy it in a box. You got to put in the time, the effort.
And you know what I love looking back on that, because you know something I shared earlier today, right? Looking back 10 years ago, where I was at as a DJ doing an event, getting paid, and it's being able to take those kind of moments and saying, you know what, if that turned out like that, now what if I just keep doing what I'm doing? What's that going to look like a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? I'm going to get even luckier.
That's it.
I'm going to get even luckier. You might say it's luckier, but you know what I say? It's work. That's great.
Now hitting the lottery or a big slot machine win or something like that, that's luck.
That's luck.
You know, that's karma or the other powers that be working on that type of stuff. But successful business, you know, I mean, yeah, you get lucky sometimes, but I think it's just, you know, just being there.
So I take great offense when somebody says, you're lucky. You're lucky you got this. You're lucky you got that. Bullshit, man. Yeah. I work my ass off for it. Every day I grind. Every day I hustle. Every day I make a deliberate choice.
Fuck him.
To get your ass
get
up.
in this path or make this decision to benefit me, my family, and everybody around me.
Exactly.
Because when somebody says you're lucky, it's a slap in the face.
It is. Yeah. It pisses me off sometimes when people do. We've talked about this. You know, they're like, "Oh man, y'all are lucky. Look what y'all are doing." No, hold on. We did this. Nobody brought us this. Like, okay, here, y'all go do this. You know, have fun with it. No. These are ideas, transformations, manifestation that we put out.
You realize it's not luck until you've gone to places or met people that were unlucky.
Yeah.
You know what? We're born here in a country where we have the ability to go create for ourselves pretty much anything that we want. I've been to third world countries. I've been surrounded by people. It's like, damn, you don't have any control over that. You grew up in a country maybe where it was suppressed.
Right.
You know, you grew up without any certain resources or access or things like that. We have no reason to sit here and complain, or some people saying like, man, you were lucky. Go meet someone that was unlucky then. You know, then you're going to be like, man, that wasn't luck.
I feel like I had to, I did this a long time ago. I had to get that out of my vocabulary, because I used to think that a lot, that people were lucky, that, oh, you're lucky you're doing that. And I was really, I look back at me and Johnny's conversation the other day. I called him and he's just like, hey man, I'm going on this vacation. And, you know, I'm going on my other vacation. And my old me would be like, man, you're lucky. But it's not that, you know, it's like, damn, hell yeah, go out there and enjoy it. I told him, go out there and enjoy and have fun, man. Get off your damn phone. I told him, you know, enjoy it. And he told me, he's like, hey, don't worry, man, you're going to get there too. And that right there, I would have never got that from any other people that I used to hang out with or anything. And I appreciated that from him, and, you know, appreciate that Johnny for telling me the other day. And I ran with that shit, because we're not lucky. I don't think it's luck. Like you said, a slot machine, buying a lottery ticket, that's lucky. You know, but at the end of the day, it's opportunity. What are you doing with it?
And decision making.
Yeah, and I had these jabronis, you know, a couple months ago. They're like, man, you're lucky. You get to, I wish I could do basketball all day long like you do. Well, it's not luck, bro. Like, y'all thought I was shit at basketball. So whatever, you can think whatever you want, but I ran with it. And I'm like, look, I love this game. How can I turn this into doing something that I want to do with it? While y'all's asses sat there and worried about women and go out there and create all these kids, and then you have to worry about them. You didn't have the time to create that I got to create. I'm sorry, but they don't. And I get to live this life now that I enjoy, but that's not luck. It was a lot of hard work. I didn't get to get a woman and stick with it and worry about that and worry about kids. Now I want that, but the opportunities wasn't luck. I went and talked to the city. I went and talked to these families that look at this short ass Mexican that was like, you know, whatever. But I was like, look, I took the opportunity and ran with it. So I don't like luck. I don't like the word, but I had to change that, and I hope other people can take that with you too.
Yeah, but you know, Johnny, you just said something about decision making, right? You know, and not long ago I was reading something, and it said something along the lines like, I don't always make the right decision, but now I trust my decision-making process.
There you go.
That's something I've grown and learned so much better, man, is that, you know what, because before then I'd play the victim and blame shifting. Well, man, you had this and you got that and I didn't get this. And it's like, you know what, instead of looking inward, now I feel so much more confident being like, you know what, if I don't make the right decision, but I felt confident now in my decision-making process.
Right.
Or, you know what, I'm like, yeah, I did that right. But you know what, because I learned and I actually went through now just a refined decision-making process where I could trust that. And look what it came to. The results showed up.
Do you know what's worse than making the wrong decision?
Not making one.
Not making a damn decision.
Yep.
Spot on, man. I've seen so many people that have not made a decision, and they don't get that business. They don't get that opportunity. They don't get that whatever they're trying to seek because they're scared or they're listening to people who've never done shit in their lives. They're
That's
listening to the
exactly
wrong
right.
people, surrounding themselves with people who are just
negativity.
who are just
I want
eking
the
their way
go-getters.
through life.
Yeah.
And people put all their trust, faith, and confidence in these people who haven't accomplished shit,
Yep.
and they're living their life through them.
You know,
Through
that's
them
like
that way.
why they
Through
say,
them.
you know, at the end of the life, it's not the things that you did that you're going to regret. It's the things that you didn't do.
And that's a hard part, especially when you start getting my age at 45. You know, I mean, there's so much I still want to do, man. But I'm like, we got all this other stuff we're doing. I'm like, do I want to sell everything and just travel? And I mean, there's, you know, going back to like, what do you want to do? So that's a tough one,
Make a
you know, as you
decision.
get older. So, but I'm happy where I'm at, man. We're doing our thing, you know, so.
So
Can't
hey,
complain.
I'm glad I made the decision to have you guys on today for episode 12.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's been a great episode. It's been real, having real talk.
It has.
And those of you watching, thanks for having the attention and for making the decision
Yeah.
to
making
watch
the
our show
decision.
as well. Because you're making the right decision.
I think we need to have more of these though. Like it's always great to have on our guests. That's our special guests that we've probably never met, and then this is the first time we're sitting with them. But I think these are important where we all get to hang out as a friend group and then come here and literally talk about this type of stuff because we're helping other people that want to be in our friend group.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying like, you know, you want to be a friend or whatever. I mean, you want this, man.
Or just dropping nuggets.
You want this type of
Hey, but
friend group.
you know what I
man.
love about this? I'm an avid personal growth advocate. You know what? Books, listening to stuff, watching podcasts. And it's so easy to be in the audience and be like, man, put those people on a pedestal. Because again, you're just hearing the highlights or you're kind of seeing
Right.
like, man, they're on that stage. What I love about this conversation today is hopefully like people watching is like, they're just normal people.
Right.
Just
Yeah.
like me
Right.
and you.
Yep.
So
Don't
they need
think,
that.
you know, our shit smells any different than yours. You
But
know,
when I
it
put
all
my pants
stinks.
on, I make Go Records.
There we go.
And
You know, when I put this hat on now, it might be a little different now. You know what I mean?
Turn into Miguel.
Yeah.
And for our listeners out there, guys, this is what this podcast is about. We want to motivate you. We want to put this type of information out there because we are regular people. You know, a lot of us do listen to Joe Rogan. A lot of us do listen to Jay Shetty. But that's in some people's book. They're up there. Well, these are guys that are in your town. These are guys that are just the next town over. These are guys that are business owners. These are guys that have a family just like you do. This is the type of stuff we want to encourage you to be better in life and do those things with this type of podcast. So with that being said, I'm going to give my last point. If you've never studied the 5 love languages, I think it's huge for people, even if you are not in a relationship. It helped me out. And if you're like, what is the 5 love languages? It's words of affirmations, physical touch, receiving gifts, quality time, and acts of service. Gary Chapman's book is the one I've read. I'm not saying that he's the only one that does talk about these 5 things, but I do suggest that you do that, whether you're married or whether you're, you know, just have a significant other, or if you're single. Be a better person is the best way to find out what type of person you are, so you can find your partner. So just want to put that out there.
That's true.
So we are ordinary people, and we're doing extraordinary things, and we're trying to level you up so you can do extraordinary things as well.
Hell yeah.
So
That's it.
thank you for watching episode 12. Jerry Sauceda, Michael Mann,
Jerry,
Justin Castillo
appreciate
behind the camera
Appreciate you
there.
having us on, man.
JRock, and I am your host, Johnny Martinez. Well, we're all the hosts today.
That's
we
right.
are the host.
The hosts with the most.
That's
There
right.
we go.
So follow us on social media. We even got that new platform, Thread.
Yep.
Threads.
Threads. Yep.
We're on Spotify. We're on all kinds of stuff, man. So check us out, socialplugmedia.net. And with that said, we are unplugged.
Got to unplug it now.
Bam.
Boom.
Bam.
Unplugged, and we're going to hit the road, go have some dinner, and whatever happens, happens.
That's right.
it,
But
man.
love each other, be kind to each other, don't be an asshole.
And then we only live once, baby.
We
So let's
only live
live it to the
once.
fullest.
There you go.
Let's go.
All right, we'll see ya.